Hello and welcome. My name is Tina Helmut and this is my Irish course. Now before we start, let me tell you a bit about myself because you're probably wondering why you should listen to somebody who after all doesn't even have an Irish name. Now I hold an MA and a PhD in Celtic studies and I have years of experience teaching Celtic languages in the schools of Irish, which I did at 2 different Irish universities. All my teaching there was done through the medium of modern Irish. So I learned Irish myself as well as English, incidentally. The thing about learning languages is you should do this tactically. That's why in this course I focus on the spoken language and I won't do any grammar. Do I hear a sigh of relief somewhere? The thing is you can always take up one of the excellent comprehensive courses of Irish that are out there later on if you want to. But I think that for most people, the basic conversation that you're going to learn here with me today is probably more than you'll ever need. Let's start off. Céad, míle, fáilte to this course. And that's something you've probably heard before and maybe were wondering how to pronounce it. Well, here's your chance to learn it. So say after me, Céad, míle, fáilte. Now you. And again, slowly, Céad, míle, fáilte. And I'd say most of you already know what this means, which is 100,000 welcomes. Céad is 100, míle is 1,000, and fáilte is of course the Irish for welcome. So 100,000 welcomes to this course. I'm delighted that you decided to take this course with me here today. Before we get started properly, I thought I'd just say a couple of sentences about the language you are learning here, which is Gaeilge. We practice that as well. Say after me, Gaeilge, Gaeilge, Gaeilge. Very good. It's a little bit tricky, I realise that, but you can always go back over the course later on and do it again. And Gaeilge is, of course, the term that the Irish speakers use for their language. They don't call it Irish, they call it Gaelic. But what is Irish? It's a Celtic language and it is also Gaelic. Now how does all this fit together? Irish is essentially Gaelic. It's also Celtic. Celtic is, you can imagine, that's sort of like the mother language, where there's different branches, different types of languages, and one of them is the Gaelic branch, and part of this Gaelic branch is Irish and Scottish Gaelic and Manx, which used to be spoken on the Isle of Man. And all of these speakers called their language Gaelic. So Gaeilge means Gaelic, it doesn't mean Irish. What I want to do with you now is I'm going to take you through a kind of basic conversation that you might have with a native speaker of, or just a speaker of Irish. What's the first thing you're going to say to them? Conas, how are you? And I've picked out here the southern dialect because it's much easier to pronounce than some of the others, and that would be the Munster dialect. So it is, how are you? That's Conas, atá, tú. Now you, Conas, atá, tú. Very good. Now let's try that as one sentence because it kind of runs together. Conas, atá, tú. Now you. And again, Conas, atá, tú. Very good. Sounds very good already. Now let's see how that works out. Now Conas means how. Atá literally means is it that are. In other words, are, and tú means you. And I promise you no grammar, so I won't explain this any further on this. So, Conas atá tú. How are you? Now, what are you going to say to this in reply? Well, hopefully, you're going to say táim go maith, or tá go maith. That means I am well, or just simply well. Let's practice that. You say after me, táim go maith, táim go maith. Now you, táim go maith. And now in one sentence again, táim go maith. Again, táim go maith. Excellent, that's very good. Now you can shorten this because you might not always want to say I am well. You can say tá go maith. Tá go maith. Repeat after me, tá go maith. And again, tá go maith. Very good. That's perfect. Now, tá is again the verb to be. Okay, it means is, and goma means well. And that ainm there in brackets, that's the I part. Promise no grammar, and there won't be any. So just know there's those two ways how you can put this. Right, so you've said táim goma. What's the next thing you might want to know about the other person? Well, you might ask them their name. That's right. So the way to do this is cad is ainm duit. Cad is ainm duit. And that means, what's your name? So let's practice that. Cad is ainm duit. And now you, cad is ainm duit. Very good. Now let's try it together again as one sentence. Okay, so close your eyes and just listen to what I'm saying, and then just repeat it without looking at what you see in front of you. Cad is ainm duit. Now you. Cad is ainm duit. Excellent. Sounds great. Okay. Literally, it means what name is to you. And the way this works is cad is what, is again, and ainm is name. And finally, duit is to you. To you. So literally what name is to you, but it's just the Irish way of saying what's your name. So cad is ainm duit. And if this was you asking me, I would say to this, is mise Tina. Is mise Tina. Now, I am Tina. Now, obviously, you're not going to be saying it's mise Tina unless you are called Tina, and which would be great. But you're obviously going to supply your own name there. So let's try that. Is mise. You say your own name now with this sentence. Is mise. Excellent. Is mise Tina. Is mise Tina. Or even shorter, smisha. Sometimes you don't even hear the I at the front. Sometimes you just hear smisha. It's a bit like in English where you say it's or it is. Okay, Irish does the same thing. So you can say smisha, or you can say is misha. And that literally means it is me, Tina, is it is, misha is me. Okay, so now you've introduced yourselves, and you might ask, the next might then ask, or they might ask you, cad is ainm duit, or you ask them, depending on who asked first. So that's great. Now you get on well, and you might say, okay, well, let's do something together. So you're going to ask them, a wallat. Would you like? And we'll talk about what they might like in a minute. But let's try this one first, a wallat. Lat. And you might notice there the second word is actually familiar, isn't it? It's the word that we came across before, which is ma. And the strange thing is that it actually doesn't have an M there, it has an H. And that is just one of those things that Celtic languages do. They change in certain circumstances the beginning of words, in this case because of this AR in front of it. So, arwalat. Let's try that together. Arwalat. And the wa is like in what or when. Okay, there's no great mystery there. The sound is well familiar to you. So a wallat. Close your eyes. Don't worry about the spelling. Just listen to me and repeat after me. A wallat. A wallat. Very good. It sounds very good. A wallat. Oh, literally it means, would it be good with you? Okay, so there's our ma in there. Would it be good with you? And the way this works is a wa is would it be good, and lat is with you. Okay, so let's see what you want to ask them to do. That might be, you might ask them for tea or coffee. Okay, so a wallat tea or a wallat coffee. A wallat tea or a wallat coffee. So repeat after me. A wallat tea. And again, a wallat tea. Great. A wallat coffee. Coffee. Okay, it's not coffee. Okay, it's coffee. Very good. A wallat coffee. And if it's a bit later in the day, you might even want to ask them for a doch, a drink. Okay, let's try that one. And I realise it's this nasty sound there that a lot of English speakers just hate unless they happen to come from Scotland, where it's part of the accent or the dialect. Doch. It's a sound. Imagine you want to make a choking sound, okay? Or you're snoring or something. It's really this kind of... It's almost as if you're rolling your tongue back and you're constricting your throat a little bit. Doch. Okay, you try that. You can play around with it a bit. It actually can be fun to try and work out when does it sound right. If you can't make it, don't worry about it at all. It's not a problem. A lot of people don't manage to do it and they just stick in a K. Okay, so they say doc. Just make sure it's not a K, but it's slightly more gentle K, so it's not quite so obvious. But that's fine. It's really not a problem. So awalat doch. Awalat doch. Great. Hopefully the other person, now you've ventured out there asking them on a date basically, and you're hoping for this one. Gorra maith agat. You might have come across this before. This is one of my favourite things in Irish because it's a blessing. It means thank you, but it really literally means may you have good things. Gorra maith agat. I love it. I mean, you give a blessing right back for something that you were given. I mean, how beautiful is that? This is how it works. Let's try together. And incidentally, you have your ma again there, okay? Your good friend, you already know this word. It means good. Literally, may you have good things. The only thing to remember there is because the word after the ma, you've already noticed that this th actually doesn't occur in the speech. Well, in this case, you do hear it because of this a in front of the next. I know I won't be doing much grammar. It's just so you understand. You're not saying, why is she doing this? That doesn't make sense. So let's just practice this. And I say it slowly a couple of times that you get the individual sounds, but then we're just going to go and put it together. Go, raibh, ma, agat. Go, raibh, ma, agat. You too. Go, raibh, ma, agat. Very good. Now, that's obviously you will never say it like that. You will be saying it like this. Now, close your eyes again. Just listen to what I'm saying and then repeat. Gorra maith agat. Gorra maith agat. Now you, gorra maith agat. And again, gorra maith agat. That's very good. That's excellent. So let's look at this briefly, what it is. Gorra means may there be. Ma is good or good things. And agat literally means at you or you have. Irish doesn't have a word for to have. This is how you say that. So you're going off, and if you are going to the pub, then, and this is something you no doubt have heard before, if you've ever been to an Irish pub, it's Sláinte. Sláinte, and it means, of course, health. Now let's try that so you know how to say it the next time you're in an Irish pub. So Sláinte, Sláinte, health. And there's variants to this, which I thought I won't keep from you. There's Sláinte wa. Sláinte wa. Just don't look at it, just hear what I'm saying. Sláinte wa. Now you, Sláinte wa. Very good. Sláinte wa. Again, our good friend, the ma. And again, the initial change there because of the sláinte in front of it, which is a feminine noun. Oh no, I did it. I did some grammar. Okay, forget about it, just so that you know Sláinte wa. There's no mistake there. And it means good health. And then next, do Sláinte. Again, this time you have the sláinte, the change to the sláinte because of the do in front of it, and it means to your good health. So let's try that again as well. Do Sláinte. Close your eyes, just listen to what I'm saying and repeat after me. Do Sláinte. Do Sláinte. Great. Well, we're almost there. You've had a good night. You had a wonderful time, and you love them and leave them, and you're going to be saying this perhaps. Go n-éiri and bóthar leat. And this is again something you might have seen on tea towels from Ireland or something. It really means good luck, but what it literally means is may your journey be successful. And yes, you've probably seen may the road rise to meet you. It is wrong. Okay, that's actually an incorrect translation because yes, éiri means rise, that's true. So go n-éiri means may it rise, but it really means may it be successful. So éiri le means to succeed at something. It's just an idiom. Okay, right. So it means good luck, and bóthar means the road, and leat is again with you. So let's try and say this correctly, and I say it slowly a couple of times, and then you can repeat it after me. Go n-éiri an bóthar, leat. Go, n-éiri, an, bóthar, leat. Now you, go, n-éiri, an, bóthar, leat. You will obviously never say it like that. We practice it as a sentence. Again, close your eyes. It will just be confusing if you look at it. Just close your eyes and listen and then repeat after me. Go n-éiri an bóthar leat. Go n-éiri an bóthar leat. Now you, go n-éiri an bóthar leat. And again, go n-éiri an bóthar leat. That's perfect. That's really, really good. I'm well impressed with your progress. You are now able to actually hold almost an entire conversation in Irish. There's only one thing missing, and that is this, slán. And you see slán looks a bit like Sláinte, and it is in fact related to it. It's from the same family of words, and it means goodbye, but really it means be safe. So another blessing. And I think it's just so beautiful. So slán, you wish the other person to be safe. And that's what I'm saying to you now. You've been great. I'm well impressed with how you did. Thank you for actually trying this. Learning another language is a challenge for everybody. So if you didn't get all the sounds straight away, or if you found it a bit overwhelming, don't worry about it. The course is there for you to look at and to do over and over again. Feel free to pass it on to your friends. I'll be delighted to have more people look at this. And as I said, it's entirely free. It will never be, you never have to pay for it. And if you're interested at all in what else I'm doing, you might be interested, and let me invite you to my personal blog, which is www.celticmessenger.com, where I share some more interesting insights and thoughts on the Celts, Irish culture, and ancient Gaelic culture. There's all sorts of things that I think you might enjoy, so feel free to check that out as well. Pass it on, and I hope to see you sometime soon. Slán, go to agat.